Typically when clients come in to see me and they have a specific condition, something that might be painful, I want to let them know that I'm listening to them, and I go directly and start working at least on that part of the body. Not true for plantar fasciitis, and that's what we're going to deal with here. Aaron's going to help me out here, and we are going to explain why we don't start at the bottom of the foot. Most of the problems with plantar fasciitis, as many of you know, is coming from the lateral and medial compartments, particularly the arch elevators on foot pronation. He's a little bit pronated here. So what we want to do is we want to, first of all, get some mobility, make sure the fascial bags are moving independently on one another, pronatus longus, tibialis anterior and posterior, all that stuff, and then we want to create some tone in there, do a few things, mobilization, and then finally we're going to come work on the bottom of the foot. Okay, so let's start with a technique that I really like. It's a dorsiflexion technique. You have to start by grasping the heel. Forearm goes on the ball of the foot. Get your body weight low. This is real important. Always get yourself centered, you know, like you're judo or something. And then, here's the key. This elbow has to drop down. Otherwise, you're up here muscling them. You got to drop your elbow down, and now watch what happens when I drop my body weight. I'm pulling on this stuff. I'm twisting the flexor retinaculum, all of this stuff that's binding down the ankle here, loosening all that stuff up, putting some force through there. You know, they can take some force through here, no problem. You're assessing at the same time ART, symmetry, restriction of motion, tissue, texture, abnormality. How's it feeling? Compare it side to side. But here we go. We're just going through, making sure everything is moving. Second part of this, that's part one. Second part of this is going to be a sling and resist. Now that we've mobilized it a little bit, let's put some tone in there. So by grasping way out here on the toes, far out as you can, grasping anywhere on the calf, body weight low, elbows out. Sling it out. And it's done with your body. It's not this. It's done with your body. What am I doing this? Why am I doing it? Because I'm trying to create some tone. Notice the foot's in dorsiflexion. When it's in dorsiflexion, the muscles are on the stretch. When the muscles are on the stretch and I'm putting a counterforce in there, it kicks in a mild stretch reflex, myotactic reflex arc, and it creates some tone, helps lift these arch elevators. While you're in here, it just takes a second. Check that tibialis posterior. So you got to get right along the tibial border. This is very tender. Be careful with those fingers. Tibialis posterior, be real careful, and then just glide down that line, that tibial line. That's where your shin splints come from. It tears away from the tibial border. So just do that while you're in here. It'll help with your plantar fasciitis. Tibialis posterior is the last arch elevator to hold up. Okay, so now we've done that. We just want to make sure we got the ankle mobile before we get in here and work on the foot. Get your web hand like that, dominant hand first, non-dominant hand on top. Pick it up if you can. I like to put it against my body, not necessary. If breast tissue is an issue, you can use a pillow or you can hold it out like that. I'm going to put it against my body and I'm just going to rock and roll. Back and forth, all sorts of positions here. See how easy it is when you don't have to, you're not having to lift it. Stretching the Achilles as I move this direction. So now we're getting ready. We've got everything loosened up now. It's about time to go to the bottom of the foot. So your plantar fasciitis people, they get up from their desk. You've been sitting 20 minutes at a desk. They get up, the first few steps, what? They hurt like crap on the bottom of the feet, right around here, right? Right there. What is that? Calcaneal tuberosity, calcaneal lip. And in fact, plantar fasciitis, It's not a bone spur that hurts. The bone spur doesn't hurt. It's just the periosteum of the bone pulling away that is very, very painful. The last thing you want to do is to push this tissue or pull this tissue away from the painful site. You don't want to be doing that. That kills them, man. It hurts so bad. I've had this. I've had people do that to me. What you do is you move all the tissue toward the injury site. Okay, so this is the best way to start. Ida Rolf position with palm up. Look at this right here, what I got here. That's real important, because now I don't have to work hard. I can lean in here and I start to slowly get a fascial hook on the metatarsals where I am, and slowly drag that tissue toward the injury site, but do not jump up on the injury site. Stop before you get there. Aaron, you tell me if I start to get too close to that calcaneal lip and it starts to hurt you. Oh, was that too close? Or was that a sigh of relief?
Too close.
That's too close, thank you. Okay, so I back off. Not going to go that far. In the first few sessions, you might not be able to go any further than that. That's it. And you can wiggle it. I like to wiggle. Get the ball. Sometimes it hurts along the metatarsals, so work those too. See how rhythmic it is? It's all about rhythm. Clients really get into it and you got the rhythm. Last thing you do, everything's cool. You've worked the leg, you've got the ankle mobile, you've worked toward the injury site, you've moved a lot of this plantar fascia and plantar aponeurosis toward the injury site. Now you want to get as close to the calcaneal lip as possible. Watch the elbows here against the body. Watch the thumbs. They meet right below the injury site. I don't want to be up on that injury site yet, do I? And then I'm just going to rocky-roly with the leg. Big circles, either direction. Why would I do this? Because it gates the mechanoreceptors, the gate control theory of pain, Melzack and Wall. When I'm moving this knee around, that sends signals to the brain, large diameter mechanoreceptor signals to the brain that blocks the danger signaling nociceptors, the pain signalers. And so it makes it just a lot less unpleasant for them. Now I'm still checking in with there to make sure I'm getting a little closer to the injury site. So now I'm getting pretty much on it. Over a series of sessions, it doesn't happen in one session. I rarely get any relief from this in one session. I just keep working toward that injury site and stop when I feel like I finally can get on that site and mobilize it without pain. I typically always finish though with a broad stroke to really give a lot of mechanoreception back to the brain to let it know everything is all right. So I usually end like that with some kind of long fascial sweep that gives them a nice feeling, you know what I mean? Try this technique.